Good morning, everybody, to this How to Craft a Winning application for Spelthorne Business Awards. Guys, this is an up close and personal event. Really, it's for those people that we've worked with over the last, 24 months or so on the Spelthorne Stronger Business Program. We want to, first of all, help you to look at the many awards that are available in Spelthorne. And second of all, if we can help you to craft and create a really strong application, honestly, it could make a massive difference for your business. Okay. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to spend the next, 45 minutes to 60 minutes or so just chatting through how can we help you to get award ready, what this could potentially mean for your business, and how that can be a launch pad for you moving forward as well. And guys, don't worry, it's a small group. We will get your questions answered as we go through as well. So we'll do that. So don't worry. Now, you all know I am Helen Roberts. I run a company called CPG. As you know, I've had the pleasure of working with you over the last 24 months, or you've worked with one of my team. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to really just have a deep dive and look at, okay, so these business awards, what are people looking for? Let's step in the shoes of the judges and understand exactly what they're looking for in these applications. Because again, what we've seen, people making applications and becoming so frustrated making many applications and never winning. We've got to spend a little bit of time. We've got to be really careful about the award that we go for. And then we've got to base the application on what the judges are actually looking for as well. And that's another thing, finding the right award for you. There's 20 business awards available for Spelthorne Business Awards this time. So it's a lot of categories. It's finding the right one for you based on where you're at and the impact that you've created in the industry that you're in and what you're doing. Okay. Then we're going to look at practicing some strong evidence-based answers, because again, when we're looking at putting these applications together and when the judges are reviewing them, and I've had the great pleasure of reviewing thousands of applications for business awards. And what I found was the more generic that the application was, the more answer that the more generic the application was and the questions were, the less interesting. So it's that crafting the strong evidence-based facts that actually are hard hitting that makes the difference. And then also being able to look at how we can create that polished and persuasive application. What you'll find, guys, the beautiful thing is here for these Spelthorne Stronger Business Program and these Spelthorne Awards, it's for local businesses. So it's not open to all, which is great. So again, you've got a bigger chance of being able to hopefully nail one of these awards for you. So who's it for? It's for any business in the region in Spelthorne. The council want to have as many applications as possible. They want to give you the recognition that you need. And guys, every time you craft an application for a business award, you're going to get better and better and better and better. Hopefully, yes, you'll win one here, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. It's in the service of applying and getting better and better. And as your business evolves, you're actually going to be learning more, you're going to achieve more, you're going to create more impact, and you're going to get yourself into a stronger position to be able to either, win or be highly commended in these awards. So often people will say, Helen, well, why is it so important to enter business awards? Now, what we've seen, and we know that, business awards, when it's an award-winning company, you're going to get more trust, right? And we talk about this all the time. People buy from people that they trust. If they trust you enough, they're going to buy from you, right? Now, what does business awards do? It helps you get that visibility, because there'll be a lot of PR around this from local media, from the council, from the business community in itself. They'll do a little piece on you. You're going to get some visibility, and you're going to gain some Google real estate there as well. You're going to get more followers. People are going to find you. They're going to be like, oh, wow, this is a person that's nominated. This is the person that or wins. So again, visibility. And as I said, people buy from you when they trust you enough. And if you win an award, people love working with award-winning brands, right? It builds that customer loyalty. They're thinking, wow, these guys have won, they're award-winning. They must be worth talking to. Okay, so really important. Every time you win an award, being able to shout that out, it'll build your credibility. It builds up that trust. People buy from you, as I said, when they trust you enough. It's like when they come to you, when they first find out about you, it's like they come and think about a ladder, and they're at the very big bottom of the ladder, right? The first rung. Every time they hear from you, or if you've got some credibility with awards, etc., it builds that trust and it keeps adding them, going up those rungs on that ladder until they're ready to buy from you. Right, what else? It allows you to attract partners, collaborators, and even staff. Again, when you're looking at hiring some staff, when you're looking at people to joint venture with, or create partnerships with, again, if you're award winning, it sets you apart from the competition. Now, as we know, it's never been so competitive than now to be in business. So again, even more reason why we need to separate ourselves. We need to be able to have, ways to differentiate ourselves from our competition as well. If you've got an award, fantastic. You can maybe be put in another bucket, somebody that's interested in, and more likely to want to work with you. And also motivation. Honestly, I absolutely love business awards. Why? Because business awards in themselves, when a little business wins an award, honestly, it's like giving you the rocket fuel inside of you that you needed. It's like that kick, to really spur you on. It's that launch pad to really help you to get to the next level. I've seen many people win an award, and honestly, the 12 months after them winning that award, they've had the very best year in their business, and it's really spurred them on. It's actually almost given them this bolt of confidence to help them to move along. So really important, guys. Business awards, they can be the difference for you. They can help you to fast track growth. It builds that visibility, that trust, helps you to talk to more partners, helps you to get more collaborators to be able to work with, and it gives you that rocket fuel inside of you to do what you need to do to be able to move things along. And the same, like we said, if you're looking at hiring staff, you're looking at bringing more people in, again, it gives you again that badge of credibility. So really important, guys. I love business awards. I love helping small businesses win awards because, as I said, I've seen it be the launch pad, and the very next 12 months, honestly, the growth that I've seen in some of these businesses has been absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so let's have a look at the Spelthorne categories right now. Okay, now, guys, as I said earlier, it's really important to be able to apply for the right awards. You don't want to get into a position whereby you just keep applying for awards. You need to be thinking about, where are you at? Where does your business stand out at the moment? But these are some of them, right? So we've got best new startup, right? Best new startup. If we're thinking about that, they're looking for a business maybe up to under 2 years old. Startups showing strong foundations, maybe some innovation or some early growth, right? So again, best new startup, 2 years. Again, a really popular award. Best small business, you'll see 10 employees or fewer. Employer of the Year, I'm not going to go through all of them. You can see what they are. Employer of the Year, business showing exceptional staff engagement, really good, strong well-being, inclusion development, maybe some sustainability element as well. Great customer feedback, just, great customer journey, great community links. What else we got? Best Restaurant, Pub or Bar, Innovation Award, Environment Sustainability Award, breaking down barriers, a really interesting one as well, breaking down these barriers and what that means. Businesses supporting people with disabilities or people from disadvantaged backgrounds, people with neurodiverse, inclusive recruitment, ex-offenders potentially, or supporting refugees, thinking of projects that champion fairness and equality. I love it. I love the Breaking Down Barriers Award. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I love, over the last number of years, we've seen so many more businesses in this space to try and move things along and really help those disadvantaged communities to make sure that they're represented, to make sure they've got, access to support and whatever they need. Charity Community Awards, Best Franchise, Retail Excellence Awards. Look, you can see the loads. Best Leisure Business, Property Construction Award, Rising Star Award. Could that be something that might be right for you, right? So Rising Star, if you think about, our Rising Star, they're looking at a standout employee, or you've got a young founder or an apprentice, or you've got a new leader showing promise, passion, and really strong results. Ideally for under 30s or people that are career changers and making waves. Businesswoman of the Year, International Trade, Best Business in Staines and Leyland, Best Business in Ashford, Stanwell, Sunbury, Halliford, and Best Business in Shepperton and Charlton. So they're the categories. There's a lot of them. And what we're finding now, guys, is that in business awards, that the categories are just growing and growing and growing and growing. And I think they're trying to make sure that it's inclusive. it's accessible for all, and then you can find yourself in a space here that you could potentially do well in. Now, here's the thing. Let's think about it, right? We've got to be strategic as well. So first of all, we've got to shortlist the right awards for you, right? So looking at this list right now, in the chat message, what are you guys thinking about? What kind of award are you thinking that you might sit under? And by the way, you can apply for two. So it's not just limited to one. You can actually apply for two categories, okay? And so thinking about it right now, looking at these kind of 20, where do you fit? Where do you think you could fit in? Like, add it into the chat message. It would be really great to see what that would be. Now, awards, how competitive are they? Now, some awards are super competitive. What we find with the local ones, they're not as much so, because they're really focusing in and honing in on local talent and local businesses, which is fantastic. That's what we want. So again, really important to, again, I think any local awards, yes, there's national awards as well, which is fantastic. But even local awards, I think you've got a greater chance of winning an award, which is what we want you to do, right? So if we think about competition, where do we see lots of competition in the awards that we see? We probably work with over 100 different awards that are being run every single year. We see a lot of competition in the best small business category. That's, lots of entries for those people with 10 staff or less. What else? Employer of the year. These are more for the mid-sized firms. We see a lot more people, going after that. We're seeing in the last couple of years, we're seeing a lot more people going after the Business Innovation Award. Okay, maybe they've created something new. They've got new tech, they've got a new product, got a new service. They're a disruptor. They're entering a new market, often data rich. We're seeing a lot more people applying for that. What else? Of course, environment and sustainability, because that's obviously on everybody's, trajectory right now. Environment, sustainability, lots of people going after that right now, and it's what consumers want to see as well. And then Businesswoman of the Year as well. We've seen an increase of people going for the Businesswoman of the Year as well. So I hope by now, guys, you've had a chance to have a little think about these top 20, right? And have a look at where you could potentially fit. Just scribble it down, okay? And then we can look into them in a little more detail and see what would be right for you. And as I said, I guess the more evidence that we can have in the applications that we make, the better that it will be. So thinking about the categories, where can you, in your business right now, what's going on right now? What is your biggest strength? Where have you had the greatest success in the last couple of years, right? What's happened for you? And I think this is really key, because this will help you to pick the category that you're going to go after. And if you've got some evidence, some trajectory of what you've been able to do, these kind of key strengths, these key success stories, this data to support it, it's going to really help you. So yeah, spend some time. Again, we don't encourage people to just on the fly apply and just going to apply to as many as possible. No, we're going to be strategic. We've got to find the best two that fits where we're at and where we've actually created the most impact, where we can best evidence what we've been able to do. And then we're going to spend some time actually crafting and creating an offer, a application that's going to hopefully best support your application. Okay. So really important. Lots of people forget about that. They get very, interested in sharing a lot about you and what you do, which absolutely you need to do. What we encourage you to do is to absolutely jump into the shoes of the judges. Now, I have judged thousands and thousands and thousands of business award applications, okay? Thousands. And again, a lot of the times we'll see that, again, people just talk about their business and, just put in details that they have on their website about what they do, the services that they have, etc., rather than thinking about what are the judges looking for. They're looking for those measurable, those impactful, those actual data around results. They want to make sure when you're applying for that award, you actually are relevant for it. You are relevant to the category that you're applying for, rather than you're just winging it and hitting and hoping that you're going to actually get somewhere. So let's make sure we've got some relevance to that category, right? Give them a reason to read on, because sometimes if I don't see that very early on, it's like, well, I'm not going to read the rest of the application because it doesn't make sense, right? So we need to be able to look at the relevance, the category. We need to make sure we nail that down and crystallize it, get it right for our business. Then we need to look at the types of results that we've had, the data that we can support it, and the evidence that helped us with this application itself as well. because we've got to put in those specific examples. They're going to want not generic stuff. They want specific examples of what you've been able to create. Okay. And it doesn't matter what stage of growth that you're at, right? Because you can get the right category in terms of where you're at. They're going to want to have some specificity. They want to have some impactful results. They want to see some data around what you've been able to do. And then obviously, the biggest thing that I think wins judges is engaging their hearts and minds. It's one thing about having the data to support what you're doing. It's another thing when you can absolutely see that the person that's making this application, the person that's behind this business, absolutely loves it. They eat, drink, sleep it. They're passionate about it. They're really clear on their purpose. They've got clarity on where they're at, where they want to get to, and the impact that they want to make. So again, when we're looking at jumping into the judge's shoes, right? We need to be thinking about they need to be able to tick boxes when they're scoring you. They're going to be scoring you across the areas that they need to look at, the impactful. Can they demonstrate the results that they've had in this area? Are they relevant to this category? What examples can they give us to back that up? And then a little bit more about you, your founder story, your passion, your purpose, your clarity, why you're doing what you're doing, the difference that you're making to the community, right? The difference that you're making across the borough of Spelthorne, first and foremost. And then obviously you can go beyond there itself as well. So guys, at the moment, anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, jump in. You can either ask me directly or you can type it into the chat, or we can wait till the end of this presentation and we'll do the Q&A then. Totally up to you. Okay, right, let's move on. So business detail section. Yeah, this really astounds me too. It's really important to take the due care and attention that you need when you're actually completing the application form. The amount of application forms that I've seen that didn't have the right data, that didn't have the contact information that we wanted or needed, it didn't fit what we needed. So really important, make sure we get the right details, we get the accurate business information. Again, sometimes people could have put their registered business address, which is not in the borough of the region that we're looking at, the local business awards. So please, please, please be careful. Make sure we get it right. And make sure that you do your elevator pitch with it. You know, it's short, it's concise, it's to the point. They know straight off who you are, what you do, and the impact that you're creating, the difference you're making locally, right? The difference you're making and who you're making that difference for, right? And then you can attach your logo as well, or flyers or press coverage or testimonials that you have as well to back that up. So again, keep that in mind. Get those together, get them looking really well. Be on brand as well. Make sure that you're consistent. Your brand is consistent with the offering that you're doing across all of the questions as well. And I've seen that too when I've seen the more well thought out ones, the ones that are actually, positioned really well and look well and are formatted well. It's easier for it's easier for the judges to read and to review rather than those that are in lots of different formats. So please be careful with that. But business section details, please be accurate, get it right, get this info in there, short, concise, to the point, because you're going to be you're going to be words limited as well. Okay, so look, what I've done and what we've done here is we've put, if you don't have an elevator pitch, I'm sure a lot of you have, because we've worked with you over the last 24 months. And I know that we worked really hard around building the structure and getting it right. But for those of you that have not, and that are coming onto this session today, or are going to access this through the recording, you need to write a powerful elevator pitch, right? This is the structure, what we do, who we help, and why we're different, right? So just some examples. This is some food for thought for you, right? This isn't, it's food for thought. This is the kind of this tends to be the formula that we use because it allows people to say it very clearly, concisely what they do in fewer words. So we help entrepreneurs to start, grow, and scale their business with tailored support. We work with, I usually say, ambitious, driven individuals, from new founders to small business owners who are ready to take things to the next level. What makes us different? It's our hands-on approach and a community that connects you with the right people, not just theory, but with real growth. So again, guys, think about your elevator pitch. What could that look like? And use this structure to help you just get clear and concise, to be able to demonstrate very easily what you do. The more time that you take and the more words that you use to demonstrate what you do, guess what? People have switched off. So short, concise, to the point, bang. This is what we do. We help these people, work with these people, and this is the difference that we make, and how we do that, and the USPs that we have. Okay, so really important, guys. So when I think back to the awards that I've been involved with over the last 15 years or so, as I said, I've been involved in hundreds each year, and thousands of people from all walks of life in every industry. And really what I found has won those people that can tell really good stories, getting used to telling a story, one that aligns with your business, right? One that aligns with your business, because what happens is telling a story that engages the heart and the mind. They're the ones that stick with the judges. They're the ones that actually engage that heart and mind. They're the ones that actually usually win. So when you're putting this together, we want to be able to tell a story that aligns with the category, aligns with the business that you're doing, why you're doing it, the difference that you're making with the offer that you're putting together as well, and the people that you're serving, and then some of the highlights, and the achievements with the data, the impact, or the quotes. Maybe somebody says, hey, when I started working with, Jane, John, Joe, that was a game changer for me in my business. That helped me to get from procrastination. That helped me get from, only turning over 30, 40, 50,000 to now making 500,000 in, whatever period of time, right? They help with me with my British business strategy. They help me to get the business model right. They help me to get the infrastructure right, to help me to drive and grow. They help me to bring in a new team, to talent, so I could actually achieve more in less time. And they, most importantly, kept me on track to ensure that I achieve more in less time. Yeah. So think about it, right? And you need to be able to tell the story. So whenever people ask me, Helen, why do you do what you do? I do what I do every single day. So I work with thousands of small businesses, people from all walks of life every single year, startup and growing businesses. Why do I do what I do? I'm an entrepreneur myself. I set up my first business about 25 years ago, and I did it. I set sail. I had no clue really where I was going, what I was doing. I knew I had enough tools in my tool bag at the time to help me to get going, and to move it along and make it happen. And I did. And I thought, sure, look, I'll learn it along the way, which was fine, right? And I did that. Fast forward 10 years. I worked really hard. In the first year with one other assistant, I turned over £1 million. And I don't say that because I'm anything special. I was lucky. I found the right market to get into. I got on the crest of a wave, and I rode it, and I rode it, and I worked so hard. Right. And then, yes, the business went on to great things, hired big teams, had great office spaces. We're impacting, thousands of people every single year, working with some of the best investment banks around the world. Guys, what happened in 2008? The financial crisis hit. So from going from making multiple millions to nothing overnight.
I've got an appointment at 11 o'clock.
Is it for you, Wags?
Yeah.
Right.
Guys,
Okay, please sit down.
can everybody mute themselves on the call? Ultimately, if things are not going well, then that's the time you're going to start to search. You're going to start to look for things to make them better. Anyway, fast forward. I spent 2 years. I found myself in a hole, really dark place, really, felt like a complete failure. Couldn't take care of myself, couldn't take care of my family, didn't take care of my parents, my nieces, my nephews, helped them at university, etc. I felt like a complete failure. Found myself in this big hole. I felt like I was in the passenger seat of life. I was bitching, moaning, and whining rather than being in the driver's seat. Entrepreneurship is about being in the driver's seat, having your hands on the wheel, and helping you to be able to craft and create the life that you want through your business. Anyway, the long and short of it is, I decided when I got myself into the place that I could get out of that hole, I went and I learned from the best thought leaders in business around the world. I put it on a credit card. I went and learned from the best thought leaders around the world to learn about how to start and grow businesses in any marketplace. And at that time, I vowed, when I learned all this information and I started to share it with other people, I vowed I never want other entrepreneurs to go down that rabbit hole that I went down and get stuck. I wanted to get out every single day when I get out of bed. I want to inspire, encourage, motivate, and support people and give people the tools that they need to build good businesses, viable ones that are sustainable, ones that can help you to live the life that you want on your terms and not going down the wrong track. So that's what I do every day. I jump out of bed. I love working with people and I love business because I genuinely believe it doesn't matter where you come from with business. It doesn't matter. You're not born with a silver spoon. It doesn't matter where you come from yesterday. It matters where you come from today and where you're going tomorrow, today and tomorrow. It's like, right, let's get clear about what you want from this business and let's build a strategy to be able to make that happen. Right. So you need to think about your story. Why do you do what you do? What impact do you want to create? Why is it so important to you? Why are you so passionate about it? Why is it that made you get out of bed to make this happen? For me, I genuinely believe that I went through that difficult time. Amazing time building business, really, really super successful. Failure for 2 years, felt like I just couldn't touch anything and make it work. And I learned so much and I thought, wow, this is why I'm here. This is my purpose. This is the gift that I have and that I can continue to, help and support other people. And I continue every single day to learn about business and actually help to put more tools in my tool bag, which then I can share with more people. So again, for you guys, when you're putting your award together, tell a story. Tell a story because that's the story. When I talk to people, usually that's the story that they remember from me. They remember, hey, you're the one that went on to create amazing success very, very quickly, sacrificed lots, worked 24, worked 16-hour days, 5 years without a vacation. And then you got caught with the pants down. Yes, that's what they remember. So think about that, right? And think about your story and trying to craft that into application itself. Now, moving on, what are you most proud of in your business to date? I don't care where you're at, if you're in the startup phase, if you've been in business 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, what are you most proud of? What would you say is the biggest or the most powerful moment for you, the biggest breakthrough, the biggest result, the biggest innovation, the biggest impact that you've been able to create? What would that be for you? Now write those down. Write those down. Don't spend too long thinking about it, but just what comes to the surface of your head right now, right? Write them down. What are these kind of big moments, these big domino moments that have really shaped where things are at and what they've done? What are you most proud of? What is it for you personally? What is it for you for the business? What is it for you for your clients, for the customers you've served, right? What is the impact that you've had with the work that you're doing? So, and then get the data. Let's get the data around it. What are the testimonials? What are people saying? What are the outcomes that you're providing with the work that you're doing? What kind of numbers of people are you working with locally or nationally, right? And again, guys, this is a local competition. So when you're crafting your questions, right, you need to be crafting them thinking about local first and then beyond. Okay, so keep that in mind because again, Spelthorne want to highlight and celebrate the success of local businesses. Okay, so we've got to stand out. As I said, in terms of business awards, then they've never been so popular than they are now. So if that's the case, it means they get more applications than ever before, which means we've got to stand out. And as business owners, we always have to stand out from our competitors anyway, because that's, people buy from us because we've got USPs. We've got to stand out. We've got to be able to give people a reason to come and work with us. So you've got to stand out from your competitors. And why? What is it about you? How do you go, above and beyond? Like, what is it? What are the clear standouts that separate you from your competition, right? And then focus on what makes your delivery unique or why it works. So find your USPs, right? And start looking at what it is, why you stand out, and also what your customers are saying. One of the exercises I tend to get people to do as well is to analyze the feedback that you've had or testimonials that you've had from customers. Analyze it, get all of them, and then watch for the patterns. What words are they using about you? What words are they using about the transformation that you've been able to create for them or the service offering that you've had? And then start using those in some of the stories and in some of the marketing that you're going to use itself as well. So yeah, stand out, guys, from your competitors, because again, the judges are looking for, what makes you special, what makes you unique, why you deserve this over your competitors. Okay. Now, when you're putting the application in, what I suggest you do is don't start the application online and do it as you go along. No, what I would suggest is to do it on a Word document or, do it outside of that, right? Work on all of the questions and then get them all ready, right? get the clarity on all the questions, and then start working through what you're going to put in. Start populating the stuff that you want to get in there, okay? And build it offline. Then when you've got it finished, ready to go, you're going to literally copy and paste it and attach into the application itself. Why? We've seen so many mistakes. People in the process of filling out an application, and then they didn't finish it and they submitted, and it's just been really, really difficult. So spend the time working on it, work on each question, get all of the branded visuals, get the screenshots, testimonials, press releases, everything ready, or even any other awards that you've won as well. You may have been fortunate enough to win an award already, right? So get this ready and put it into a PDF if possible. Why? Because the formatting will stay in one place if it's in a PDF. If it's in Word, sometimes it can get a little bit jumbled on the page, and we want to make it as nice and easy to read and to follow for the judges as possible, because usually there's going to be 5 or 6 people reading these applications, and then they're going to be scoring you all at the same time. So the easier that it is for people to do that, the better that it will be. But yeah, make sure, guys, big tip, get all the supporting documentation, get all the questions prepared, and make sure that you have it ready. Okay, right, so let me just grab a quick drink. Okay, when you're applying for 2 categories, and I would definitely recommend that you do apply for 2 categories. Why? Double your chances, right? And also, you don't know from those categories that you're applying for, one of them may have very few applications. The other one might be really, really popular and a lot of applications in it. So let's increase your chances, right? So let's find 2 categories that meet your business in terms of what you offer, right? And so with each of those applications, don't just copy and paste the one application that you've done and then put it into the other one. No, they've got to be crafted and tailored specifically for that category that you're going after. So if you're a female entrepreneur, it's going to be, focused on that. If it's going to be the sustainability one, it's going to be that. If you're a startup. So again, you've got to focus it based on what the category is, right? And make it relevant as to that category as much as possible, okay? So don't duplicate all the same of the pitch. Now, some of it will be, yes, similar and the same, but not all of it, guys. Make sure that you craft it, you tailor it, you make it nuanced for that other application itself as well, rather than just slapdash, hey, I'm going to throw it in. This is what we've seen. We see that a lot. People do an application and then they just throw it into different categories and it's the same. So they haven't spent the time crafting it, tailoring it to the specific category that they are going to go for. And I tell you, the people that are being going to apply for this, they will have. So it's got to be really important to make sure that you tailor it, make it match that application as much as possible. And as I said already, story focused and get it concise and getting impact and as much data, as much evidence as you can to make it as impactful as possible, the better that it will be. Okay, so just a few tips, okay, that we've seen that makes a difference in these awards as well. Excuse me. As entrepreneurs, we have lots to say, right? We have lots to say, we have lots of things to talk about with our business and what we do. We've got to keep it simple. We've got to keep it jargon free. We've got to use some active verbs. We've got to make sure that we avoid big, long reams of paragraphs, right? Let's make it easy on the eye. Bullet points, right? Let's make it easy. You've got to think about it. These judges will probably be looking at in excess of 100 applications. Don't know the numbers, but I'm guessing there's going to be in excess of 100 applications at least, right? Now, we need to make it easy for them. They need to be able to see what they need to see to tick the boxes that they need to have for the category that you're going for, right? So again, let's make it simple. Let's not use jargon. Let's get rid of long, laborious paragraphs. Let's use bullet points. Yes, you can have some text around that too. That's fine, but make sure that we're getting the bullet points in as well. And also lead with outcomes. Very important. People want to know what you've done already. And they think, wow, okay, this person is worth me reading on, right? If you lead with their outcomes, then I think, oh, wow, this is exactly what we need for this category. I'm going to read on. Whereas if you haven't led with that, then they've got to read through and then they're like, oh, and then you may not even have the info that they need for this particular category as well. So please be careful. All right. Some of the most common mistakes and that we see and things that you need to be aware of when you're putting these together. So again, just creating these generic answers with no data in it, no impact, no relevance at all, not using any of that supportive evidence. We see lots of typos. It's actually really it makes me cringe when we see typos. It's a little bit like having typos on your CV. This is your window to the world. This is your window to something bigger and better. This is your window to potentially getting an award that could be game changing for your business. So again, let's work on the application outside. Let's make sure it's all spell checked. Make sure you're not late or rushed, because this is when we see a lot of errors. This is when we see a lot of mistakes. And a lot of people say, oh man, I just didn't have enough time, or I didn't give myself enough time. Start working on it now. Each of the questions a little bit each day, and it's going to allow you to make sure that you meet the deadline and be able to get this in, and you're going to lead with your best foot forward. Because look, guys, this is how I live life, and this is how I am in my business, and this is how I encourage other entrepreneurs to show in their business. It's playful out. It's get on that pitch. It's tug out and get out there and play hard, or dive into that pool. Don't just dip your toe in the water and see if you're going to win. No, you've got to fully immerse yourself in it. You've got to dive in, and you've got to spend some time really making this work. Spending some time on it, really thinking about it, getting the evidence you want to need, and start crafting and creating this application that's going to make a difference. Because not only is it going to help you with this set of awards, when you apply for the next set of awards, you're going to also have this, right? That you're going to be able to use from. You're going to have a template, a framework that you can continue to tailor and use beyond there itself as well. Now, as I said, you're going to take it offline. You're going to get all of the questions. You're going to make sure that you complete it offline first. You're going to pick the right categories, okay? You're going to make sure that you get the information put together in the fewest amount of words, okay, as possible, okay, based on what they want. You're going to get strong examples. You're going to look now for evidence of the strongest examples that you have of the work that you've done and the impact that you've created and the data around it. And you're going to make sure you've got all of these supporting files ready to go. And then it's ready. You've got it ready in your Word document, then you can save it in your PDF, and then you're ready to copy and paste it or attach those into the application itself. But yeah, before you go in to do that live application, make sure you do the checklist. Make sure you have everything that you want and need to be able to add that to. Because again, I see people, they go to the application process, they've spent a little bit of time working on the questions, and then they haven't got what they need, and they've gone away from it, and then they've gone back to it and they've lost all of the information that they've done before. So guys, spend the time working outside, get it ready, everything's ready, tick tick tick, got everything ready, you're really happy with it, your heart and soul's in it, and you're putting your best foot forward. And ultimately, I always think, you know what, if you put your best foot forward, you got to be happy, win or lose, right? Put your best foot forward, you're giving it your best shot. And if you win, fantastic. If you don't win, you don't get an award. This time you still won because you've done this process and you've got this ready for the next one. Okay. And I think every single time you apply for one, you get better and better and better and better. Okay. So guys, next steps is for you to start really crafting and creating this application for you. You've got to find out you've got to look at the categories you're going to focus on. You're going to look at the application. You're going to download that editable application prep worksheet. You can do that, okay? You're going to start scheduling some time in your diary over the next week, okay? The next week, I would say, schedule some time in your diary to start working through. Manage your time. As entrepreneurs, we have to manage our time on multiple things. We've got to give this the due care and attention that it needs. So put some time into the diary, plan and protect that time, and start working through each piece of the application, right? Bookmark the Spelthorne Awards site, absolutely. And then also, if when you're putting this application together, if you're not sure about where you're at, guys, I'm really happy to have a session with you, a 50-minute, a 30-minute, an hour one-to-one session with you, crafting and creating, your application, making sure that you are, on track. It's evidence heavy enough. It reads well. Obviously, I'm not going to do it for you because I don't want, I'm supporting a lot of people that are going through these awards. However, I can give you guidance as if, around if you're meeting the relevant and required information that's needed for each of the questions. Okay, so quick recap. Okay, we talked about the workshop goals and what we're trying to do here, really to give you a better steer about these awards. Why to enter these awards, the difference that awards can make for your business. Again, when somebody's going to look to buy from you, they're looking at your competitors as well. They're probably getting 3 quotes. They're probably looking at 3 competitors at once, right? 3 people at once, and then they're making the decision. It could be that here's your a local award-winning business that bang, they're going to decide to work with you, right? It could be that you want to do a joint venture partnership or a strategic partnership with somebody locally, and they're going to go with you because they think, hey, these guys mean business. They've got an award, right? Make sure you get the category right. If you are not sure about your category, please pick up that phone. call me, let's book a session. Happy to support you on that, just to make sure that you're happy with it. Because again, I don't want you spending time putting your efforts into building out an application for that category and it doesn't serve you. We went through all the categories, the 20, find the right 2 for you. When you're looking at putting this together, jump into the judge's shoes. Think about, what are they looking for? What do I need to have with each of these questions? What do they need to see? What do they need to tick off to be able to say yes? Okay, they're going to be scoring you against other people, and they're going to be looking to give you the maximum points per question. Okay, and if they do not, if you're missing one of those elements of what they've asked for, you're not going to be scored. You're not going to get the full points. The idea is we want to get full points for every single question. Okay. Then we talked about the powerful elevator pitch. We're giving you a formula with that, getting really clear on that, getting crystal clear on it, and work on it. Work on that. Share it with some people. Share it with some of your staff, your customers. See if that resonates. See if that works. Why you? Why you? You know, what makes you special and unique? What is it about you? What's your difference? How can you engage those hearts and minds? How can you storytell to really make them think about and remember you over somebody else, right? How can you stand out from that competition? What is it, right? Got to get really clear about that. And then we talked about the common mistakes. So I guess ultimately, guys, it's about giving it the due care and attention that it needs. It's strategic. Going for awards and winning an award should be part of your business strategy, right? It should be part of your business strategy, and that takes time. That takes effort. That takes, spending some time looking at how you can actually go about getting this. And so this is the local business awards as part of your strategy. As a business owner, I would encourage you to look at what other awards are on out there right now that might be a good one for you to apply to too. Let's get in the habit each year, about looking at, as a business, we want to win an award. We want to win more awards, right? Okay, spend the time that you need on each of those applications. Plan and protect the time in your diaries and take action, right? The time is now. We've got a couple of weeks now before the applications close, right? Do this for your business. This could potentially begin to be game changing. This is going to help you to create more certainty in your business. It's going to give you more confidence. It's going to help you to be seen by more people. It's going to help you to drive and deliver and create more business. And also, it's going to give you that much better reputation in the marketplace, whether you're hiring staff, whether you are looking to do a strategic alliance, whatever it will be, it's going to give you that, credibility that you want and need. And it also allows you to just, play at another level, which is what we want for you. Okay. Now, okay, guys. So I've just wrapped up now. That's the end of this session. Okay. But now I just want to jump on and see if we've got any questions, and we'll get those questions handled. But for those of you guys that are watching this as a recording, watching this back, please, guys, take action today. Get working on your business now. Start looking at these awards. Make an application. If you need some help, please, get in touch. I'm happy to help you. I'm going to help you, right? I will help you to identify whatever you need to have help with, whether it's a category, whether it's actually crafting and creating the application form, whether it's, your elevator pitch, whether it's looking at the evidence of what you've done today, if that's enough or not. Happy to help you. So please do get in touch. You can reach me at helen@cpgexp.com. All right. And get in touch anytime.